Psalm 88 is one of the darkest and most sorrowful psalms in the Bible. Unlike other psalms that begin with lament but end with hope, this one remains in deep despair. The psalmist cries out to God, feeling abandoned, rejected, and left in the darkness of suffering. He speaks of being surrounded by trouble, cut off from friends, and close to death. It is a raw and honest prayer, showing the depths of human sorrow. Yet, even in this overwhelming darkness, the psalmist still prays. This alone reveals something powerful. No matter how deep the suffering, calling upon God is still an act of faith. Many people today experience similar emotions. They feel lost, unheard, and hopeless. They wonder if God is truly there. Psalm 88 speaks to those in the pit of despair, showing that even in silence, God's mercy is at work. The cause of this suffering is not always clear. The psalmist does not specify a sin or wrongdoing that led to his misery. Instead, he simply acknowledges that he is drowning in trouble, abandoned by friends, and feeling as though even God has turned away. Many believers face similar struggles, not knowing why their prayers seem unanswered or why their pain persists. Depression, grief, sickness, financial ruin. These troubles come without warning and leave people feeling isolated. The Bible shows that suffering is part of the human experience, and even the faithful endure it. But what makes Psalm 88 unique is that it does not offer a happy ending within the psalm itself. This is a reflection of reality. Sometimes we do not see immediate relief. Yet God's mercy is not always about quick deliverance. Sometimes it is about sustaining us through the storm. Without God's mercy, suffering leads to destruction. The psalmist describes himself as being close to Sheol, the realm of the dead, as though he is already buried and forgotten. This mirrors the effect of despair in our lives. When people lose hope, they turn to destructive habits, believing there is no way out. Many fall into addiction, isolation, or even take their own lives because they feel forsaken. This is the danger of suffering without faith. It convinces a person that there is no escape. However, even in the psalmist's cries, there is something important. He keeps calling out to God. He does not stop praying, even though he feels unheard. This is a key lesson. Mercy does not always mean instant rescue, but it does mean God is still listening. When we continue to seek Him, even in our darkest hour, we remain connected to the one who can truly heal. God's hidden mercy is often misunderstood. Just because we do not see immediate relief does not mean He is absent. The very fact that the psalmist prays shows that he believes God is real and that He has the power to respond. This is where many people miss the lesson of Psalm 88. Sometimes God's greatest mercy is in sustaining us rather than removing our pain. We see this in Job's suffering, in David's trials, and even in Jesus' moments of anguish. God does not always take away suffering instantly, but He walks with us through it. His mercy is in the strength He gives, in the endurance He builds, and in the unseen ways He is working behind the scenes. For those who feel abandoned, this is a reminder that silence does not mean absence. God's mercy is still present, even when it cannot be felt. The ultimate proof of God's mercy is found in Jesus Christ. When Jesus was on the cross, He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27-46. In that moment, He bore the full weight of sin and experienced the depth of human suffering. Yet, through His death and resurrection, He revealed the greatest mercy of all eternal life for those who believe. Psalm 88 may end in darkness, but the Bible does not. The story of redemption continues, showing that even the deepest suffering has a purpose. Jesus endured the worst agony so that we could be saved. This means that no matter how lost we feel, there is hope. The same God who raised Jesus from the dead can bring light to the darkest places of our lives. This is why Psalm 88 is not just a song of sorrow, but a call to endurance. It teaches that even in silence, prayer matters. Even in suffering, faith matters. God's mercy is not always immediate relief, but the assurance that He is still in control. If you feel abandoned, know that God has not forgotten you. Keep praying, keep seeking Him. His mercy may not come in the way you expect, but it is always there. Do not give up before your breakthrough comes. Jesus has already made a way, and His love is greater than any darkness you face. Will you trust in His mercy today?